All right, welcome to another episode of the Lockdown Podcast, continuing to pick apart Raw, SmackDown, future PLEs, the rumor mill, as it were. There is a lot going on in WWE that is good, bad, and indifferent. So we will get to it as we get to it. So if you've been watching Raw, whether you watch clips or you watch it in its entirety, have noticed an extreme amount of repetitiveness that is just getting borderline obnoxious, um, to the point where it's like, oh wow, this is how it ends again. Wow, no surprise here. And it's legitimately the same six wrestlers in succession, however you want to mix them up in the pan. It's the Vision being with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins, or it's LA Knight, Jey Uso, or Jimmy Uso in any scramble of matches in which people at the end of it interrupt the match and then more people come out, and it's literally just the same shit over and over and over and over again. And like, I get it, like you want this stuff to matter, but there's really nothing in this. Like you have Seth being the champion, you have Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker being the lackeys, and then you have this weird pairing of LA Knight with Jimmy Uso, kind of a smothering of a little bit of a Jey Uso, and you have these three kind of going back and forth, and kind of sick of it, man. But so that's pretty much how it kicked off. And I wish I could say I was surprised by any of it, but I'm not.
I
Um,
was gonna say I totally agree.
Yeah.
It,
Well
it,
said.
it's it this with all these feuds that are going on with Seth Rollins' group, Jay, Jimmy, LA Knight, and CM Punk. It's kind of getting boring.
yeah, it's
I'd
it's
rather get up to go take a shit or take a piss while they do their little fights. Don't get me wrong. All the talent that are all in this feud are all straight up great, and I love every single one of them. But this storyline feels like I'm rewatching the Bloodline story shit.
Mm,
oh
yeah.
yeah. I mean,
It's just getting old,
same recipe, different wrestlers.
pretty much.
And
Well,
I
besides Jimmy and Jay, same ones.
Yeah, and I mean obviously we've seen this a million times, but it's just like I said last week, creative is not very creative. Like they're reading us the same story every week, and it's about time you guys do something different. Maybe we're done with the surprise returns. We're done with the surprising releases. We're done with, like, mix it up. But anyways, so yeah, that goes on again for like the fifth week in a row. It feels like. So AJ Styles finally gets his retribution against El Grande Americano, even with the help of another Americano outside the ring, which that thing is running stale. Like, the Americano thing is running its course, and that's even getting like, you know, I'll go grab a bag of chips or something. But so Lyra Valkyria returns and faces off with Raquel Rodriguez, and in honest to God typical fashion, honestly, like, Lyra takes the L. I feel like they came with her into the main roster and everything strong, winning, being the inaugural women's IC champion, all that. And it seems like not even just Lyra, but many other wrestlers that they've brought up from NXT that they've completely missed the mark on. They, they had all this allure and all this stuff around them coming to the main roster, and now they've kind of dropped the proverbial ball. With a lot of these wrestlers, that being one like Stephanie Vaquer, who is supposed to be going after the championship at WrestlePalooza, and like they've barely had her on TV since she won that match to basically become the number one contender. And it's, again, you're missing the mark. You're missing, marquee talent, especially someone who's going after the top women's championship. So
Yeah, she hasn't been made an appearance on Raw in a while. Just last week, she made an appearance just on NXT.
yeah, it's sad that they've drifted her down to NXT to do this stupid triple or 3-on-3 tag match at an NXT Homecoming.
Yeah.
Like, if she's supposed to be going after the championship, give her some matches, give her some believability, give her some wins underneath her belt leading into it. The thing called, momentum. She's like standing still at this point. And so it's
so really quickly on Stephanie Vaquer, what's coming out on the internet is that she's been off TV learning to speak English better. So if that's what they've been doing with her, all right, awesome.
I can kind of see that her English on NXT was a little bit better.
But having her on TV, having her on TV is just as important as working on these other skills that makes her an even more believable crossover talent. So if I hope it's just not that. Yeah.
If they got somebody that needs to learn how to do a little bit of better English, and that's Asuka. Asuka definitely needs
it. You know what? I would not be surprised if that is just part of her character.
If you watch some of her YouTube channels that she does, when she tries to answer fan mail, she's speaking in her language or try to speak English.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, man. I love Asuka. I love the hell out of her.
It's a mess. Like, you have 6.5 days to do this thing and give her a 10 to 15 minute match, and we'd be none the wiser to what's going on in the background. You can't have her be on TV. Like, you can't have her at the caliber she's going after, of a match that she's going to go after for the top tier championship, and have her just kind of doing backstage segments, drifting down. Like, they need to be more consistent. Like, because, like I said, they've dropped the ball with her, even though she is going after the top championship, and I'm sure she's going to win, because I swear if we see more Io Sky in Rhea and anybody else that has been on repeat going after championships, like, I'm going to shit a brick. Like, we just need fresh.
Yeah.
And even people across, like, even like multiple podcasts I've listened to or clips I've seen and everything else, everybody's saying the same thing, is that the women's roster between NXT and main roster is deep. So if you're like, why are you not showcasing the depth? And you're putting, some of them into minuscule storylines. You're putting them in groups. Like, and I get it. You're trying to be creative, but, like, I don't know. I just, it's a kerfuffle right now, and they need to figure something out, because they're losing viewership. And really at this juncture, if you look at the professional wrestling entertainment business in a whole, you're either watching WWE or you're watching AEW. Because essentially, if you want to rope TNA and Ring of Honor kind of into all the WWE branding, essentially you're watching WWE or you're watching AEW. Those are pretty much the outlets you're going to go to. And if AEW is doing a better job at something else, you're going to start losing fans because you're as creative as a kindergartner coloring a picture. Actually, I think the kid in kindergarten is probably more creative. But
Probably. They could probably come
but-
up with better storylines.
yeah, and
I bet you
speaking
your
of,
I bet you your kid can come up with better storylines.
100%. And speaking of predictable storylines, so we get AJ Lee coming out and going through, her little speech, I guess you could say, her promo. And out comes obviously Becky Lynch to get her title back and all that nonsense. And in typical fashion, it's like, hey, give me this match and I'll give you your title back. And it's like, how god awful is creative that's what you're going with? Like, give me the match that you're already it's already in the books before you're even talking about it, because there's only one reason AJ Lee's back is because girls smacked around her husband. Like, you didn't even
smacked him around and motorboat his man boobies.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Where's that on the internet?
Oh no, it's because
That
she
on
stuck
the-
because she stuck her face in his chest. Goes.
But yeah, so obviously we're gonna get that match at WrestlePalooza. No real surprise. So now that we seem to have moved on for Rusev and Sheamus, we've kind of moved past that now that we've had a trifecta of matches. Rusev is just back down to crushing whoever he wants, and he absolutely annihilates Penta. And this is again another wrestler they're dropping the ball with. You sign Penta as this great free agent, and you haven't put a title on him. You've barely put him in the title picture. Whether it was don't have to be top tier, but secondary, nothing. This was the first match that was even talked about in regards to a championship opportunity. Like, he's been signed for what? Since maybe 9 months, maybe a year. And you've put him mid card. Like, that kind of rubs me the wrong way. Like, he's explosive. He's lucha on steroids, and you're not showcasing him. He's been taking L's back to back to back, man. I don't think he's won a match in a month. Like, what are you doing with him? In recent story is that we have Andrade leaving.
Yep, I saw that. The first thing I saw that was right on Facebook.
And so what does it become when and I think he probably left on his own recognizance. I
think so too, because I think he was getting fed up because you signed him back, you barely used him, you give him that stupid speed championship that was so stupid. And it's WWE. Get your shit together. You bring people back. Well, use them. He is a great fucking talent, and he's good in the ring. He knows what the fuck he's doing. WWE or TKO, whatever the fuck you want to call you guys now, remove your heads out your ass and do better.
Yeah, I mean it's complete ball drops. I mean, and so Nikki Bella has came back, and I don't know what the angle is for this with her, because I don't think she's won a match since she's been back.
No, she's only had one match since she's been back, and she lost.
She had the Becky Lynch match.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then this week, or the last week, she faced Asuka and took the L on that. And so so that was on Raw. And so she takes the L to Asuka, obviously getting choked out. in the Oscalok, but yeah, I like there's more women to showcase on the come up on the roster than bringing back Myth Hall of Famer Nikki Bella. Like I like Nikki Bella, I do. She was a trailblazer in the 2000 like the mid 2000s 10 15 run, like and I'm okay with that, but like we don't need another veteran to come back to take away from
I think
from matches that other roster women can fill.
okay, this is
Yeah.
just my opinion.
Okay.
It might not be true or not, but whatever. But I think the main reason why she's back is because she went through a divorce because she was a straight up abusive to the man she was with, beat the crap out of him, hit him a lot, and he pretty much sued her for a shitload and probably won the case. And she don't really have the money, and she probably, hey, Triple H, can I come back and I need some money?
She broke.
Yeah, she's a broke bitch, and that's probably the
Oh,
main reason why she's
man.
back is because she needs the money because of what she fucking did.
I
And
mean,
that's why a lot of people will boo her ass because they know what the fuck she's did.
I mean, she could have just gone on OF.
True, she probably could have made bank on that.
She probably would have
Probably
made more. She probably would have made more on OF because I would have subscribed. But Frederick, you look so quiet. Like you're just like you're taking everything we're saying in, and you're
Yes.
just kind of
Yep.
like I was like, your face is gonna
just
explode.
I'm just doing some fact checking on the internet, and just like what, hey, yeah, I don't know why Nikki's back. I mean, she's back, but
you look like a toddler holding their breath, and they're like, you're like, I gotta speak now.
Yeah, I gotta say something, brother.
It'll
He's
never be
doing
that,
some
but,
he's doing
you
some
know.
he's doing a recon as we're talking.
Yeah.
He's our analyst now. Now Frederick is officially the analyst. So while me and Tim talk, he is fact checking everything we're saying in real time.
I'm excited to hear Tim give his opinion, so I'm not taking up anything. So why'd you ask me anything? I'm just Tim, go ahead.
I already said what I had
We're
to
cooking,
say.
so
yeah. So I could care less to glaze over Bronson Reed defeating LA Knight, big lolly freaking whoop. All that nonsense happens. Hey, look, the same guys come out. Hey, that's the end of the show. We'll move on because I don't care. It's the same shit every week. We could just go back 5 episodes, probably the same thing at the end of it. So we've gotten the return of Brock Lesnar, and we have also got the return of regular goofy R-Truth. And I feel like him being like Ron Killings was as big of a flop as John Cena being a heel, except for we actually wanted the Ron Killings side, and they've just kind of did a 180 and they're just done with that. They've scrapped it. But so, but I still love R-Truth, Ron Cena, whatever you want to call him. Comes out
John
and
Cena's
does his
older
thing.
brother.
Yeah,
I want to know how that's impossible. Where R-Truth is the oldest.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, honestly, like because like it is really a throwback because like R-Truth and Brock Lesnar have met before with these bits in the the distant past.
Yeah,
and
where
like
Brock Lesnar break character.
He made him break character. He made him break his pants. I mean, like I good on R-Truth for being R-Truth and giving us that comedic relief amongst all the nonsense. I feel like R-Truth is the star of the show right now because he's the only one that's fresh and creative.
Pretty much. He goes out there and says whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, I mean,
he's his own leader.
Yeah, so it's good to see R-Truth back in full stride, doing the R-Truth things that he's made infamous for decades. So, so we have Sami Zayn, obviously after the week prior, basically giving homage to John Cena and having a United States Open Challenge. Obviously, the week prior gave it to John Cena. Obviously, that was broken up with Brock Lesnar. But this week, he gives the Open Challenge, and we get Rey Fenix finally doing something besides being with Andrade in nonsensical tag team division. So obviously Sami Zayn gets the win. Obviously, good match though. I mean, definitely, letting Rey Fenix be more creative in the ring. Obviously, it's a completely different match style between Sami and Rey Fenix. But these are the matches I like, where like I know there's going to be no outside interference for no reason. They're just good matches, and they showcase the wrestlers just doing the thing, and someone getting a definitive win and someone getting a definitive loss, and that's all it is. No nonsense. So, but speaking of nonsense, so we get Julia versus B-Fab. That ends in a no contest due to Kiana James' outside involvement and Michin, who was definitely lost in the shuffle, coming out to beat the crap out of her with a kendo stick. So, that's kind of the state of the mid card women's title right now. Julia really hasn't done a whole lot of anything with this championship since she's won it. Definitely kind of fizzling a little bit.
I think so. I think so too.
They need more competition rolled out every week. You can, when we already know like the top tier championship like match already after X amount of weeks or maybe a month in advance or something, and you have that championship, you can do backstage segments with that whole title thing, but like let the mid card shine while you already have those matches for the future. And they're doing a terrible job at letting these mid card championships cook. Now, obviously, with Sami Zayn doing his thing, obviously that's giving more workhorse ability to that title, which is good. But again, with Julia being champion, it's kind of.
I think they're just putting. It just feels like they're putting more eyes on the men in WWE.
Of course.
Not putting a lot of eyes on the women, where me personally, I think a lot more women do a little bit more work than half these dudes do.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I think it's not for lack of showing, the women's matches. It's just their matches are like 5 to 10 minutes long. And I don't know, that doesn't give us believability, to make longer matches, to showcase their talent. Because it's like 5, 10, 8 minutes, like it doesn't really do a whole lot, for the entertainment aspect of it, just because most shows only have maybe 4 to 5 matches on it. So like, and then it's just a lot of talking points. It's a lot of backstage segments. It's a lot of build to, or the trope of all trope where you have someone go out and talk in the beginning of the show and then they have a match later. Like, wow, that's a popular recipe. But like, and so like they do all these talking spots, and I feel like we want to see more wrestling. Like you can have some of those talking things, but we don't need them like to be so long in length where like it takes away from giving us another match. Because the talking stuff is just it's like I want to see matches. Like we come to watch wrestling. If I wanted to watch talking segments, we just sit at home and watch those. If I'm gonna go to a live event, I want to see some action. I want to see some matches. I want to see like, And so like I think they need, like you said with the women's division, is that they're not giving them enough time to cook and good, and create memorable matches. You
Right.
look at the matches of old, we'll say, like 2010 and back, the matches, I mean, I felt like there were a little bit longer matches, but now I feel like they've just they give them like, I think honestly, like 10, 12 minutes max. So, um, now the Tiffany Stratton Jade Cargill match, obviously in typical fashion, was interrupted. I hope honestly Tiffany Stratton is okay though. She got her freaking bell rung a couple times.
Definitely.
Camber didn't catch a ton of it, but people with cameras on their phone caught it and got her head right a little bit. So I honestly hope she's okay. I hope if it is a concussion, it's not a serious one, but it happens. So that is the part people need to understand, is that this shit happens. It's
Everything happens. It's not always perfect.
Yeah.
Always
So
has mistakes.
yeah. So we get to the final match of the night, which is Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. And it was interesting at best, I guess. Drew McIntyre wins, which is, I feel like, I don't know, like they're definitely giving him momentum. And this is what I say about those matches that you need to build momentum to the bigger matches. And yeah, Randy took the L. That ain't doing nothing for his career. He's already a Hall of Famer, period. Like,
Yeah,
so
he's a
like,
Hall of Famer and he's a Grand Slam champion.
yeah, I mean, and Randy has nothing left to prove,
Mm-mm.
but like, he's still chasing it. Um, so I like that they did have Randy take the L just to build that, and obviously, Randy at the end wanted to give the old puntaroo to Drew. It rhymed. But yeah, and then we get the reemergence of Cody Rhodes, who was supposed to be filming a movie. He was supposed to be hurt. He was supposed to be a lot of things, but here he is. And I really feel like they need to change the clause in these like WWE championship clause things in creative, that like you got to defend it every 30 days, all that nonsense.
That's the way it used to be.
And it used to be that, but we all know full well Roman didn't abide by that. But so I feel like they just need to like scrap that, um and just build better stories to matchups. Um just because when you give something a couple weeks to cook, it's not going to have as much build as to something where you give it a month. And yeah, that's a long time to wait for a championship match. But when you can build it, and you get this
Right.
back and forth, you
Yeah,
know,
back and forth story. And then when you go into the match,
yeah,
it's gonna make more of a okay. You got to watch this.
Yeah.
They were like beating the shit out of each other one week and talking this mad shit this
yeah,
week.
yeah.
Yeah, they
And
need something like that.
it just builds the brutality of the match.
That
Um,
makes everybody like, how badly it's going to be in this match.
yeah. I mean, and you look at historically what they've done when they really give some like time frame to like let these matches really build the hostility, the
Hmm.
brutality, you know, the trash talking, stuff like that, helps make the match that much more meaningful.
Right.
But I digress. But so WrestlePalooza is this Saturday, and don't think I think we have the full match card. I don't know if they're adding. a sixth match or not. But as of right now, we have CM Punk and AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch. We have John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. We have Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's Championship. We have the Usos versus Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Snooze Fest. Undisputed WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. So we essentially have two championship matches. We have a good historic build-up match. We have a snooze match, and we have like a B- match. Don't think this really WrestlePalooza. It's just another PLE, guys.
It is.
It's not.
And
It's
the
nothing
only reason
special.
why-
It's
Yeah.
a PLE, and they put it right on the same day as AEW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same time too.
It's nothing special, guys. They could create a million different names, but at the end of the day, PLEs, realistically, the only PLEs I actually give a crap about, like truly, is the ones that most of us care a crap about. Is the big four, right? Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. That's it. Everything else is just mid. Like
Pretty much.
there's really no every one of those other PLEs and in between are just building towards the bigger PLEs.
Right.
You know, you have the beginning of the year PLE, which is just build to Royal Rumble. You know, then you have something in between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. So that's that third PLE is a build to WrestleMania. Then you have a PLE maybe like June or July. That is a build to SummerSlam. Then you have a couple in between. And then you have Survivor Series in November, and that although all those PLEs are build for that. That is pretty much the gist of PLEs in WWE. They are all like the smaller ones are stepping stones to the bigger ones. So that's my take.
Yeah.
That's my hot take.
Yeah. I think the
I agree.
PLEs
I
are
totally
just
100% agree.
carrying them. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what do we think of the card as a whole? Like, what would we give these matches in the card and the PLE as a whole? What are we thinking that it's going to shake out to be? Do you think it's going to be
I'm gonna say a B.
a B? A
I would
B?
say probably a B-, because I feel like I understand, like, you know, the Brock Lesnar and John Cena thing. I'm more excited to watch that than I am Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes.
Same.
And so it's sad that sometimes these PLEs we have, there's better story build to a non-title match than there is build for a title match. And so again, with the building to a match or a trifecta of matches, is that the build is just as important as the match. If you don't have much build, the match is going to replicate that. And so I feel like, you know, because the Brock Lesnar and John Cena thing is such a rivalry over you know, decades, you know, and so you got some meat and potatoes to this to this match. You got some history to this match, and Cody going against Drew McIntyre again. I mean, it's just all repetitiveness. I honestly want Drew McIntyre to win. I'm over Cody Rhodes as champion. He's run its course. Cool, you beat John Cena. We all knew that was coming anyways. And so, you know, Drew's been getting screwed for a decade when it comes to championships, whether he was winning them and then someone was cashing in, or someone like CM Punk was screwing him over in a title match. So I want Drew to have a title reign and actually have a title reign. Like put some people against him, give him some good build, give him some good quality matches and defending his title and coming out on top. I'm ready for what they want to put Drew McIntyre against. I'm not excited for what they want to do for put Cody against.
Say Drew McIntyre can have some great title matches.
Because
dude, he's a freaking beast.
Well, and Drew's rustled more feathers in the back. So you have a untapped amount of possibilities for matchups. Whether they're big matchups or they're just, hey, this guy talks smack, I'm going to go beat the crap out of him. Like, however you want to play it, Drew McIntyre has more enemies than Cody Rhodes.
That is true.
But so I know this was what we wanted to truly get to at the end of the show, is the egregiousness of WrestleMania 43 being in Saudi. And it was the video that shocked the world, that pissed people off.
Oh yeah, they were putting comments in there.
I mean,
as you sold out.
Everyone's is saying that WWE sold out. And I can't help but agree. You know, if you're for the first time you're going to go outside of the US to do a PLE, I would have honestly picked probably like Paris or London.
I would pick either one of those.
And
they deserve it more than this country does.
And all you've done is want to get you basically sold WrestleMania to the highest bidder. This WrestleMania is not about us. It's not about the US fans. It is about glad handing Saudi Arabia. And I get it.
Big chunk of change.
And I get it. They're getting $100 million for Royal Rumble in January, and they're getting $250 million for WrestleMania in 2027. And I get it. You want that money, but what's going to get sold next? I mean, it's bad enough WWE surrounds the ring with sponsorships. Like, I'm surprised they didn't put the Slim Jim on a kendo stick instead of a table. You know, crack a Slim Jim. Like, I mean, and what's next? What else are you going to completely deviate from giving us as average fans an opportunity to go to shows and to bring our kids and to bring our family and to come to these spectacles and not have to spend a month's paycheck? Like, it's getting out of hand. And the stupid thing is people still pay. And that's what WWE plans on. That's what they put their stake on.
These people save up a year's worth of paychecks.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they leverage their futures, their immediate futures, to have these one-time experiences or whatever have you. As someone who really would like to enjoy a in-person WWE show, I want to sit as closest to the ring as I possibly can. I want to put myself on a camera and I want to enjoy it. I can't justify spending that type of money for 2.5 hours worth of.
I totally agree, because it's not like back in the day where I had ringside seats, front row seats to Raw or SmackDown.
I mean,
the prices are different now.
You know, and you're really pricing out your fan base. You know, your core fan base, not the casuals, right? Your core fan base that are generational fans and supporter of the product, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, why? You know, it comes to a point where it's like, what is enough and what is too much? And I think currently the pricing is way too much. The business deal, it is a groundbreaking business deal. If you were to look at entertainment business deals, like we don't see the NBA like taking teams over to um, countries like Saudi Arabia or wherever to have tournaments or to have championships, finales or anything like that. But the WWE, with their product and their history, do have some leeway to do. It is a very unique sports entertainment
Yeah.
product that can do that. Business wise, for entertainment purposes, yeah, that is something you entertain. $350 million for 3 days over 2 years of no, even more than that, because you've got the entire week and you've got extra shows that they'll probably be doing. So you've got like upwards of 7 days worth of WWE, or more than 7 days of WWE entertainment originating outside of the US for two of their biggest pay-per-views of all
Yeah.
time. So the business side of that is like groundbreaking. That's like, wow, I
And
didn't
Yeah,
know pro
I
wrestling
don't see,
had
I
it
don't
like
see
that.
anybody from the United States flying over there to go to these WrestleMania because the tickets for
Right.
that's going to be fucking expensive. The
Exactly.
hotel prices, they're already seen what they look like. They're freaking expensive. The
and
plane ticket there is expensive.
it's sad that you look at Vince McMahon and how he ran the business. He wanted generational fans. And now they're just we'll do shows for the highest bidders. It doesn't matter who we harm in the process. We are, and it's like, and the thing is like, it's the sad thing is that's not going to make me not watch the product, but I'm also not going to go to your PLEs. I'm not going
That's
to go
why
to your shows.
that's why I
I
barely ever try to go to any of the shows anymore when they come to town.
no, I mean it's to the point where it's like just to get in the door, you're spending like 150, $200. And to the average person, which a lot of us just are average, hardworking folks, that's a lot of money. It's not pocket change. And it's sad that now that we can see that WWE or TKO, whoever you want to blame, we'll go all the way to the top and we'll say TKO is just greedy.
That's what I think
Like,
it is.
you can't tell me that you're not making money hand over fist. Like, I don't, I just, I'm not buying it, because you could work me over and say that all this stuff is going on, but how do we know what's truly real and what is fake? Because you could be feeding people a line of BS and most people would believe it. They're like, "Oh, I can see why they have all these sponsorships now because they're struggling." And I don't they ain't struggling. They they pay people in it, like the roster. You look at some of the top guys, they're making money hand over fist. Like, and they're barely showing up. So like, you can't tell me that if you space out what you pay those wrestlers along with what you're making on these shows with ticket sales, sponsorships, merchandise selling, which is probably a chunk of money because people will buy all the new shirts that they come
I was
out.
gonna say, plus that big sponsor they got is constantly always center in the mat is their biggest sponsor because the boxing over the weekend, like Saturday night, had that same sponsor in the middle.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think
It's
and I think it's I can't remember who it is, what company it is, but I know it's the big that's where they get their big money from is this whoever gets that middle part of the ring.
yeah, and they it's literally becoming WWE is basically the new UFC.
Pretty much becoming
You
a
know,
big giant freaking billboard.
it's It's egregious. Vince McMahon would have never
Vince-
done that.
Oh yeah, he would have been pissed.
Like,
he's
you know
probably
what?
turned him down so many times for it.
You know,
Yeah, there's a lot to say about how the old regime wanted optics on the business under that direction versus what is being done now. And to go back to your statement, Tim, about rooms in Saudi Arabia and Raja, I'm looking at for 5 nights, um, upwards of $2,500 for 5 total nights for 2 rooms. So 2 adults, 3 kids, 2 rooms between there, and your prices are going to vary. But here's the thing: World Rumbles on January 31st, according to the internet, and 78% of hotels right now are booked.
Oh, I believe
Um,
it.
for
Whoa.
those dates. So even if all of us like won the lottery, and we had the disposable income to go over there, we're gonna just to get over there. That's just for the hotels. We're not even talking about how much the
Flying.
flights are, and that would
That's
be
expensive.
outrageous. And it's
Or
it's
just
gonna take.
a roundabout like there and back is probably fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the hotel's the cheapest part about it.
Yeah.
And
not
and like
not to
in,
mention, and it's crazy, like you were saying, Seth. It's like,
I'm not
why would you
against
go?
I'm
Like,
not
why?
against globalizing the product, but not the not the biggest PLE. Like not the
WrestleMania
biggest,
needs to stay in the United States.
like not the biggest. And it's egregious and it's obnoxious enough that they're doing it in Las Vegas for 2 nights again after they did it last year because they're so money hungry that they're gonna only go where the money is. And it's sad because they've never duplicated a city back to back for WrestleMania ever.
No.
Ever.
It was
Period.
fucked up. They fucking told New Orleans, yeah, you guys are going to get it. The tickets are going to be on sale for it. Then they turn around and do this shit.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
And give them a freaking money in the bank.
oh wow, thanks for the consolation prize. Like it's stupid because now you take away, let's say their arena that they're going to put money in the bank is going to be, let's say 18,000 people max at a big place, right? 18,000, probably closer to 15 to 16. So you're going to basically piss off 50,000 people just because you wanted to make a buck. And again, this is the sad reality we live in now with professional wrestling is I get it. It's a business. I get it. You got to make money. I get it. But at what cost do you go about making that money? Because professional wrestling is global product. I get it. But you've never, like, for the first time of you going outside of the US, you basically are going to sell off WrestleMania to probably a 20,000 person stadium.
No, that stadium is huge in Raja.
Which one are they? But the thing,
Yeah.
but like, what's the capacity for something? I mean, because it sure as hell better be like 80,000. And I guarantee you, 90% of those tickets are sold, or probably just they're bought by Riyadh and given to people. Is
Pretty
from what
much.
I've heard. What I've heard from multiple sources is that they're going to pay them the $250 million for WrestleMania, and they're
Okay.
just going to give their people basically tickets.
So one stadium is closed right now in Raja, and they're expanding it to seat 70+ thousand people by 2026. And then there's another one, the International Stadium. It looks like that is planned for 92 just 92+ thousand people. So All right. So the International Stadium isn't open. The Sports City currently is closed, but they're looking at reopening it um, 2026. Um, so yeah, there are
So there's
uh,
venues. It's
right,
but
right, and
obviously you have, you have almost 2 years, a year and a half to worry about that. But it's just it's upsetting.
but yeah, for WrestleMania, for Royal Rumble, I don't know where it's going to be held since they just announced Royal Rumble. Is where's it?
I mean,
You know,
it's probably gonna be basically probably the same spot they do Crown Jewel.
right. So it's going to be in Raja, but like, I don't know how many people it's going to hold, but
It only sat like maybe like 15,000 or something. That's all it was when
man, I want.
when they
I,
did Crown when they do Crown Jewel over there, and it's like it's not even like a prestigious stadium. So I hope to good golly Miss Molly they make Crown Jewel something more than just a house show, because those venues were pretty tiny for a big PLE. So maybe that's what they're doing. They're building these big stadiums for freaking WWE to come in and cut them a check.
Probably.
So, but
yeah,
I mean, I guess we'll wait and see, and obviously, like details will come in probably sooner rather than later, obviously. But I mean, we're only in September. We still got plenty of, you know, we got about 5 months before Royal Rumble. So I mean, I guess we'll just continue to keep our eyes peeled and see what
yeah,
happens. So,
yeah,
but we will put a pin in this. So we will be back next week with more nonchalant chaos discussing PLE. Obviously, next week we're obviously going to cover WrestlePalooza and definitely see what becomes of that. So,
yeah.
this is the Locked On Podcast. Peace.